Alright, now we're doing 7Q, sum a list but ignore any duplicates. This is by Jules HK, and 92% of people like it. So we're going to write a function that sums a list but ignores any duplicate items in the list. For instance, for the list 3436, the function should return 10 because it's getting rid of the 3's. So it's going to be 4 plus 6. Awesome. So we did one most recently. Actually, the last Codewars video was just like this one. Was just like this one. There's like patterns that happen. Anyway, regardless, what we're going to do is a double for loop. But we're going to need to declare some variables first. We're going to let result equal 0, and then we're going to have to do something special with the I and the j. Well, with just the j, so we'll just declare I and j in here for the double for loop. So we'll say for I equals 0, since it's already declared in here. We're going to say, while I is less than num list, we're just going to change this to in. While we're at it, while I is less than in dot length, we're going to say I plus plus. And then we're going to say for, now we're going to do j equals 0. While j is less than in dot length, we're going to say j plus plus. All right. So now we're going to do the thing to where, okay, so here's what the function's basically going to do. So we're at in at I, right? In at I is going to be 3 to start off with. First things first, j is going to be at I also, so it's going to be j at I is also going to be 3. So the thing that we're going to do is going to check to see if this equals this. So we got to make this skip itself first. So we're going to say if I equals j, we'll say continue. All right, and then we're going to say if. So what are we at? We're at in at I is this one, and then in at j is this one. Now in at j is this one. Now in at j is this one, and it's the same as this one. So this one so we need to break out of this thing. So we're going to say if in at I, pardon me, equals in at j, we're going to break. Now, I'll show you exactly why in just a second. So once we break out of this for loop, we're going to go to the next I. We're going to go to in at I plus 1, which will be here, and it'll just continue through. And so we're going to say inside of this one, so after this one here, what we're going to say is if, and this is why we had to declare the j out here, because we're going to use the j right now. So if j equals in dot length, right? Because the j got to the last one, it was j plus plus, j plus plus, j plus plus until it got to the end of the array, right? So if it equals each other, that means there's no duplicate because it got to the end without breaking out. Hopefully you understand that. So we're going to say result plus equals in at I, all right? And then all we got to do is come all the way out of the both for loops and say return result. Test it out. And there we go. And attempt it. And just like that, but just like yesterday, just like the last one we did, that's a little much typing, honestly. We're going to comment this thing out just so we can refer to it later if we need to. And then after that, we're going to do it a little bit more concisely. We're going to say const sum no duplicates equals, and we just need the in because we're not doing any for loops here. We're going to do 3 different methods here. So we're going to say console.log, and we're going to say right here in, just to start off with. Let's test it out, see what in looks like. 1, 1, 2, 3. There we go. We've got an array. So now we're going to go through this array, and we're going to say at this one, first things first, we're going to filter out any duplicates using the filter method right here. So we're going to say in.filter, and if you don't know about the filter method, it creates a shallow copy of a portion of a given array filtered down to just the elements from the given array that pass the test implemented by the provided function. Okay, so basically we're going to say that array we just have dot filter, in dot filter, and we're going to have the element here, an arrow in the expression that we're going to filter these with. So we're going to say element, awesome, and we're going to say in dot index of. All right, now if you don't know about the index of method, it returns the first index at which a given element can be found in the array, or -1 if not present. So basically we say something dot index of, and then we put the element in there that we're searching for. So we'll put this element right here, and we'll say index of element. Okay, and then we're going to have that, we're going to see if that equals the last index of this. So the last index of 1 would be index 1. All right. If it was over here, it'd be index 2. Okay. Anyway, so what we're doing here, we're going to use this last index of method, which given one argument, a substring to search for, it searches for the entire calling string and returns the index of the last occurrence of the specified substring. Anyway, that being said, basically it's the same thing as index of, but just gives us the last index of. So we say in.last index of element. All right. So if these equal, they can go on to the new array, but if not, they got to get out of here. So remember this 1, 1, 2, 3 right there. Test it out. All right, now we got 2 and 3. So we just need a way to add this element plus this element, which is easy because we have the reduce method, which basically the easiest to understand case for reduce is to return the sum of all elements in an array. And that's exactly what we're using it for. So we'll just say, we'll come down here and say dot reduce. And for the reduce method, it takes 2 arguments. It takes an accumulator and a current value. And then it has the arrow and then the expression, but we're also going to be using the initial value here because of cases like this where there's nothing in there. So what we're going to do here, instead of accumulator and current value, we're just going to say result, and we're also going to say element. All right. So basically it's saying the result is, also we had to have the comma 0 for the initial value. So basically this result is acting just like this result right here. And then this element is acting just like this in at I. Okay, so we're just adding this one plus this one. And we're going to do that by saying result plus element, not even plus equal, element, element, just like that. So let's test that out, see what happens. 5, 5, 0, 0. What else do we got? 3, 3, 21, 21. Looks good to me. Let's get rid of this console.log. Just like that. Test it out again. There we go. And attempt it. All right, and submit it. So here's this way. They're doing the filter, and then they're doing index of equals index and nums list at, yeah, well, they're just, okay, they're doing it that way, and then they're doing the reduce also like we did, but they're just doing it all in normal syntax. On this one, it's they're using the for each, which I don't remember what happens with that, plus they're using the what is this, the an if statement inside there. All right, so you can just check out the rest if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice, in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.